Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to explore how one single, seemingly simple mathematical concept can literally build massive wealth, or, on the flip side, trap borrowers in a seemingly endless cycle of debt. It's a force that has absolutely captivated everyone from ancient merchants to brilliant mathematicians and, of course, modern investors.
So here's the core question we're answering today. How exactly does one single formula build empires and trap borrowers? Think about it. It shapes global finance, it completely dictates your retirement timeline, and it governs the very structure of credit. Yet it operates on this deceptively simple premise. Let's really get into the exact mechanics of how it all works.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, the magic of compounding. Second, a brief history of interest. Third, the actual mechanics of compounding. Then, we'll look at time and the twin example, the dual nature of interest, and finally, harnessing its power. Let's dive right in.
All right, Section 1, the magic of compounding. This is all about earning interest on interest.
It really all comes down to the difference between simple interest and compound interest. Simple interest is pretty straightforward, right? You earn a percentage based solely on your original principal. But compound interest, man, that's an entirely different beast. You earn interest on your principal, sure, but plus, you earn interest on the previously accumulated interest. You're effectively earning interest on interest. So as time goes on, your money doesn't just grow by some fixed amount. The actual rate of expansion accelerates. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill.
To truly appreciate the sheer magnitude of this mathematical phenomenon, we really need to look back. So, Section 2, a brief history of interest. We're talking millennia of math here. This isn't a new idea. It's been analyzed by civilizations for literally millennia. Way back between 2000 and 1700 BC, we actually see the very first compound interest problems recorded on Babylonian clay tablets. Fast forward to 1340, and a Florentine merchant named Pegalotti provided a dedicated table just for compound interest. In 1494, Luca Pacioli gave us the brilliant Rule of 72. Then in 1613, Richard Witt published a landmark text on it. And by 1683, mathematician Jacob Bernoulli literally discovered the mathematical constant E while studying this exact subject. How wild is that? But the historical record isn't just a highlight reel of mathematical discovery. It's also full of societal friction. Historically, compound interest charged by lenders was severely condemned. In fact, under Roman law and the common laws of a lot of other countries, it was actually regarded as the, quote, worst kind of usury. And it makes sense when you think about it. Because compounding makes debts grow at an accelerating rate, ancient legal systems often viewed it as deeply predatory when it was applied to borrowers.
Now, the impact of Richard Witt's 1613 publication really cannot be overstated. Before Witt came along, writers usually just brushed over compound interest in like a single textbook chapter. But Witt's Arithmetical Questions was wholly devoted to the subject. It was a massive turning point, bringing this unprecedented clarity and rigorous accuracy. He included 124 meticulously worked examples. He basically created a practical framework for leases and loans that completely changed how this math was understood forever.
So, how does this actually play out by the numbers? Let's get into Section 3, the mechanics of compounding. Let's do a quick comparison. Imagine a $10,000 investment over 3 years at a 5% interest rate. With simple interest, you earn exactly $500 each year, which yields a total of $1,500. Simple enough. But with compound interest, well, year 1 is the same, $500. However, in year 2, you earn 5% on $10,500, giving you $525. In year 3, you earn 5% on $11,025, which yields $551.25. So over just 3 short years, compounding yields an extra $76.25. That's the direct result of earning interest on your interest. And over decades, that gap widens exponentially. Now, a really critical factor in all that math is the compounding frequency. This is just the number of times per year that your accumulated interest is capitalized, which basically means it's officially added to your principal balance. The basic rule of thumb here, the higher the frequency, the larger the exponential effect. So, savings accounts typically compound daily. Meanwhile, mortgages might compound semi-annually, and credit cards, they often compound monthly. Basically, the more frequently it compounds, the faster that balance is going to grow.
Now, if you want to calculate this without busting out a spreadsheet, we can use Luca Pacioli's Rule of 72, which we mentioned earlier on our timeline. It's a super simple mental shortcut for figuring out investment doubling times. Just divide the number 72 by your annual interest rate. So if you've got an investment earning a 4% return, 72 divided by 4 equals 18. Bam! It'll take exactly 18 years for your money to double. It's just an incredibly elegant way to grasp the trajectory of exponential growth.
To truly understand the importance of time in this formula, we need a bit of a visceral reality check. Section 4. Time and the twin example.
All right, imagine this. Twin 1 starts saving at age 20. They put away just $100 a month for 40 years at a 4% interest rate compounded monthly. By the time they hit 65, they have $151,550. Pretty good, right? Now look at Twin 2. They neglect to save early and don't even begin until age 50. To try and catch up, they invest $5,000 initially and then put in $500 every single month for 15 years at that exact same 4% return. By age 65, Twin 2 has only $132,147.
But here's where the crucial insight really reveals itself. Looking at their actual out-of-pocket cash. Twin 2 invested a total principal of $95,000. Twin 1 only invested $54,100. Let that sink in. Twin 2 invested nearly double the principal, but still ended up with tens of thousands of dollars less. Why? Because they lack the single most powerful variable in the entire compounding formula, which is time. Time literally does the heavy lifting for you.
Because this math is so undeniably powerful, it can definitely be a double-edged sword. Section 5. The dual nature of interest. Wealth versus debt.
You see, the formula itself is entirely neutral, but its real-world impacts depend completely on whether you're the depositor or the borrower. On the pro side, compounding heavily rewards consistent savers by building long-term wealth at an ever-accelerating rate. It also acts as this really powerful mitigant against inflation, helping to preserve your purchasing power over the years. However, on the con side, if you're a borrower making minimum payments on high-interest loans, like credit cards, where the interest often compounds daily, this exact same math works ruthlessly against you. It accelerates debt cycles, making the total balance grow exponentially and making it increasingly, sometimes impossibly difficult to ever pay off.
So, how do we use this to our advantage? Section 6. Harnessing the power. Let's talk modern investing.
Today, modern retail investors actually harness this power through several specific vehicles. One really great example is dividend reinvestment plans, which are commonly known as DRIPs. So instead of taking dividend payments as cash, investors use DRIPs to automatically purchase more shares of the asset. Those new shares then generate their own dividends, creating this incredible self-feeding loop of compounding growth. Another cool example is zero-coupon bonds. Unlike traditional bonds that send out periodic interest checks, zero-coupon bonds are bought at a discount, and they don't pay out until maturity. So the interest just remains inside the investment, compounding silently over time until it reaches its full face value.
As we wrap up this explainer today, we're really left to consider the dual reality of this ancient mathematical force. I mean, it is entirely indifferent to who you are, but it is highly sensitive to when you start. So, the final question you really have to ask yourself is this: are you harnessing the mathematical power of time and compounding to build your future? Or is it silently working against you?